drop your kids off at school day.
Just let Ronnie know we're here.
This is part 2 of our off-grid dream build with Ronnie at Airstream Nuts and Bolts. If you haven't seen part 1, that's a good place to start, and we'll link it here.
They look good.
Mark.
I love it.
How does it feel?
I love it.
This build includes 2 Battleborn GC3 batteries totaling 540 amp hours, 1,000 watts of solar, plus an onboard generator. And in part 1, we discussed why a generator is useful, even with a lithium battery bank.
A generator can help mitigate your overall solar budget.
This is a 6-day build, and in this episode, we'll be starting on day 5 with getting the equipment placed and making all the final connections, including wiring up the smart plug, despite a little help from me.
Oh, jeez.
Not allowed in the shop anymore. Not allowed. Oh, you just got fired. Welcome to the club.
Oh, and we'll announce the winner of 2 Battleborn GC2 batteries from last week's tongue weight contest.
What if?
People were to guess how much the trailer was going to weigh at the end of the install.
And to our surprise, there was only one correct answer.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Oh, it is like a drum roll.
It is.
And Ronnie learns to never leave us alone in his shop.
What are you talking about?
That's you?
I've never seen that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
In the caulk gun? Really?
Now, I don't know where they do their thing, okay?
I go to take this tube of caulk out of here, and there's one in the caulk gun.
That's unbelievable. How did it even get in there?
I have no idea, but I know I left you and Trish unattended in the shop yesterday, against my better judgment.
Well, that'll teach you.
So here's the plan for day 5.
Goal today is obviously, it's Friday.
Yeah.
So it's to get this thing live. Get that done. We're gonna do the clear glass in the door. And then we're gonna kill all your scope creep. This is the Quattro 2. This is the new inverter from Victron that allows us to provide power to a 50 amp trailer like the Multiplus 2 did, but this one has 2 AC inputs. So we have the AC input on both sides. We're gonna talk just a little bit about some modifications that I make to the inverter itself, both the Multiplus and the Quattro, in order to allow them to run cooler. This inverter is originally designed to be installed in this orientation on a wall. And what that means is this top portion of the inverter is a dust cover. It keeps stuff from falling down into the inverter. But when it's laying in this orientation, the way we're gonna install it in the trailer, our vent is down here. So what happens is heat just kind of rolls around in the end of this thing and it's kind of trapped, it can't get out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shear this end of the inverter off right here. And that's gonna open up the backside, so as the fan blows the air through, it's got a way to get out.
Nice. And then we've got right over here this Ferrari of fans.
There you go.
And this will be hooked up to the relay so that when the internal inverter fan says, hey, I'm hot, kick on the fan, the relay kicks on and it turns on this fan.
Right, so we'll use the internal fan of the inverter as a trigger to cue the relay to turn that fan on. Shins clear?
Shins clear.
You see what I'm talking about?
Oh, look at that.
So now we opened up the end so that all that heat that's inside this thing can go out. Since it's going to be mounted in this orientation. So this is called Unistrut. It is a mount for the inverter, which will get it up off of the floor.
It didn't come with the kit though, did it?
No.
Okay.
No. So the big charging coil is here.
Okay.
And there's a lot of heat generated right here. So we don't want this on the floor.
Yeah, sure.
So we give it 1.5 inches of breathing room.
And subsequently, that same compartment is where we're going to put the Starlink router because that also gets hot. And I've noticed in the flying cloud we had, when I opened up that compartment, it was hot in there just from the Starlink alone. So by mounting the Starlink router where we mount all the inverters and the batteries, because it's already exhaust, that'll keep that cool too. Pretty excited about that. And then on top of that, we've got this really cool stainless lit switch. What's that switch called? We've got these little switches, and I ordered one from Amazon. Of course, everything we're talking about here will be linked, but I ordered this from Amazon in a white. We're going to drill this and mount this in the wall so that the Starlink router will be controlled through that little push button switch. Because for those that know, your Starlink router, of course, only gives you internet when the Starlink dishes out. But all your devices are connecting to that router anyway. So I thought it'd be kind of handy to have a way to turn the router on and off so that I don't have to go and unplug the router or mess with the cable, because the cables can break and then you're in a jam having to get a new OEM cable, which aren't cheap. This was $15.
I did figure out our Starlink relay situation though.
Really?
And it's really a neat one.
Is it?
It is. So couldn't find a 12 volt to 120 volt relay, and I was racking my brain. Dinner last night, all that, wrecking my brain trying to figure it out. This is a 12 to 120 volt relay, and it is the same relay that operates the electric water heater.
No way.
All right, here's a question for you.
Okay, what do we got?
Hang on, one thing at a time.
Thank you.
They want to know if you're still making beeping noises on the scissor lift.
Anytime it moves.
Any recommendations for a setup based on the occasional weekender? We're not talking about this.
No.
Yeah,
So where do you start?
2 batteries.
That's the question.
2 lithium batteries. Take the AGMs out, put 2 lithiums in, and go. The 2 lithium batteries will serve the average weekender well. Factory inverter will be plenty.
On an Airstream. So if they don't have an Airstream, they don't have a factory inverter. So what kind of inverter would you recommend?
1,000 watt, 1,200 watt.
Okay.
Small inverter will be fine.
Yeah. Any solar? Any solar in the system?
Yeah, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Because 2 batteries would be plenty to make it through a weekend.
And then DC to DC charging so that on a rainy day you could recharge to the next location?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's economical. What's DC to DC charging typically run?
The charger itself's a couple $100, and then you're probably looking at a couple hours of labor to put one in.
Okay.
So they're not too bad. We're gonna do the smart plug. This is like one of the most important things when you do this thing is you got to make sure that it's gonna slide together, because if it doesn't, it
unravels it, I bet.
makes it really hard to deal with for sure. So.
Oh, is that really just like something to pull it through? Mm-hmm. Push it on.
Thread the needle.
You're threading the needle.
Woo!
That's not your first frayed knot.
Break not.
Easy crowd.
Pretty foolproof.
Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that.
Black to black, red to red, green to green, white to white. I have fought these things forever. If you don't get them good and lubricated and get this thing slid on there good and all that, it can turn into a bear.
Okay.
But yeah, they are otherwise very DIY. Very basic electrical principle. Make sure you got good terminations, make sure wires are tight, those type things. If all that works, you're in great shape. So another great thing about the smart plug upgrade is this whole pattern where the screws are match.
Oh, with the smart plug.
Yeah, so we don't have to put any new holes or anything like that. It just goes right back where it was.
That's it.
New end.
That looks great.
Okay, it's in there, but we don't have room for batteries.
Oh, wow.
So we've got enough room. See, I can get my hand
Yeah.
between.
Oh, yeah.
And then the great thing is our fan that we installed is back here, so where the heat comes out on this end, we're actually sucking air across that end.
Right out.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, now I'm gonna take these wires and slowly kind of sort them out and get them in the inverter one at a time. But before I get too much into moving the wires, I want to get this thing secured, so I'm not moving it all over the place. So I'm trying to work on it and all that stuff. So we're gonna get it. So I have to tape the screw and washer to the tip of the drill so that it doesn't come off, even magnetic, because I've got to get it in such a precarious position to get in the other side. This is the only way I'll do it. And then when it does it, the tape just tears off. And
You need a hand?
I got it.
Okay.
You just stay right there. Just fine.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure now you're ready to turn on that inverter.
I'm pretty sure I'm ready to turn it on in just a second here. Yeah, I got one more bolt here. One more wire.
Man, is anyone else nervous?
I'm not nervous.
I wasn't talking to you.
Well, you ready?
Yeah.
11 out of 11.
Dang, no hesitation either.
There you go. So our screen should boot here in just a second. It'll take it a minute. There it goes.
I just heard the fridge start.
Yeah, fridge came on. So we got to go in and do a lot of programming now.
Yeah.
We're going into the charger. Now this is the one that I do.
Okay.
So the charger is capable of charging up to 120 amps an hour.
Okay.
I'm going to back that down to 100. And the reason that I'm backing it down to 100 is because that will allow the charger to still charge at a very aggressive rate, but it significantly reduces the amount of heat that the inverter produces. I mean, a lot.
Okay.
Like, dramatically. Right now, if we just swipe through, see, we don't have but these two screens. That's all we got.
Yeah.
So if I go into Start, I got a menu, I got a Settings, I scroll all the way down to Relay. I tell the number 1 relay to be a generator start-stop relay. I come back out now. And now, we got a new screen.
Oh, yeah.
There's about a 12-second delay from the time it starts. Oh, and here's our propane tank.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there's about a 12-second delay. So we're going to hit it here, and we have to hit accept.
Yeah.
We got a 5-second countdown before the servo relay sends a signal. It's going to send a signal, and then this orange light's going to turn on and stay solid. Solid orange light now.
Yeah.
We're going to get a green K1 light up, and we're going to hear the generator turn over. It's going to take it a second because it's got some propane to go.
There it goes. Pretty cool.
That's it.
That's a real clap. That's not even simulated.
That is not even simulated.
Come on in.
This is incredible. And there's no plug. Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Ronnie, that's beautiful.
It's so clean though, isn't it?
And,
it is so clean.
And
Yes. Woo! Mark's button.
Mark's button.
still got some things to put together.
Yeah, we've been programming.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, what happens when the generator starts and the shore power's on and vice versa. It's not 100% accurate, but something like that.
Things.
All the fun things. And when do we want auto gen start to turn on? Like, at what point do you want the generator to kick on? And then there's settings in there that says turn the generator will start charging the batteries when it gets below 60%, but not if it's in quiet hours.
Really?
Yeah, but then if you go down a little bit more and it says, but if you get down to 20%, it's in quiet hours, I want you to go anyway.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Going.
Full ride.
Full
Lift
send.
the plastic.
Yeah,
Hit the button.
yeah, we're hitting the button, and I'll talk to the ranger in the morning, but Charlie's getting AC. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So there's all sorts of stuff like that, which
Oh,
is pretty
that's
cool.
so good.
Ronnie put on the Mopica tank settings, so now that
Oh, that's going to be really neat.
now if you look in our GX 70 touchscreen 70, there's tank sensors up here.
Oh, it's so big. It's so nice.
Yeah, so you can see that.
Oh my goodness.
And it'll match the tent.
Woo-wee. Look at
Rig.
that.
Whole room. This is a huge game changer because before it blocked off your whole view.
Oh, and if somebody was at your door, you just kind of felt like, well, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can totally see out. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And then it's going to bring in the light.
More
and
light.
then when the door is open, it's not blocking the only two windows that are on this side.
Oh,
Isn't that neat?
really? On second thought, I don't think I'm going to record this. You could do this on your own. I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
And just so we're clear, the reason for the tarp is that very reason right there. We don't want all that ending up in the bed.
I sure hope so.
So the ductwork material, and you see how there's a gap between the aluminum and the duct.
Yeah.
That aluminum ring, this little C, is going to go on top of the duct, and it actually pulls the ductwork down and sandwiches it between the aluminum. That actually helps with the airflow also, because with that duct kind of up, there's a lot of air leak area between the skin and the duct. So we want to keep that pulled down so that we create a path of least resistance, which happens to be the vent out.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow. These are a little work of art.
Aren't they though?
Wow.
Turn them around.
Incredible. Look at that. What is that called?
So they're the Aircrafter ERPOD. ERPOD. So they are an aircraft style air vent.
So you can completely close them off, forcing the air from one side of the trailer to the other.
Exactly. Or if Tricia's here cooking and she doesn't want this one on her, you can either aim it away or close it.
Let me just add that Ronnie did not change the Aircrafter ERPODs in the bathroom. That would be 2, because he said that you don't really need the airflow in there. And so that means we have 8 of these ERPODs. And I know a lot of people were concerned about them taking up a bunch of space. I will tell you, they look a lot bigger when people take photos of them and post them online than they do in person. In fact, yesterday Tricia and I came in the RV to just kind of get some things. We weren't really looking at the mods, but I didn't even notice them. Ronnie said, "What did you think of the Aircrafter's ERPODs?" And I said, "You put those in?" I didn't even notice them. So way more seamless than I thought they'd be. For those that are tall, I don't think it'd be a problem. And you don't have to replace them all. You know, maybe you could leave an OEM vent where it's an issue and all the other ones are kind of out of the path. That's quite a bit of spray foam.
That's what I was afraid of.
30-foot Airstreams have a C channel that runs from the tongue back to the bumper, and this is where Ronnie will run the Ford OEM camera wire. But the previous owner had applied spray foam to the end of the frame, which may not have been the best idea.
And let me just say my personal opinion about this is, anytime you seal up something like this, you run the risk of condensation, water entrapment, and things like that.
Yep.
And because this is a tube and a frame, that works better as a drain than it does as a sealed hole.
Yeah.
Put it open all the way through there.
We're out. What the heck? That's unbelievable.
I tell you, this thing's just
They just keep showing up everywhere.
it just keeps showing up everywhere.
That is unbelievable.
It's not really. I'll make much though, not on this aluminum. Got to do now is replace the factory 7-pin and 4-way connector.
Yeah.
For the new one, that gives us the 7-pin and the camera connection.
Yeah.
Back there.
Now, the thing is that Ronnie didn't zip tie them together, and so I think that's going to be a big help. Previously, our DC to DC cord and our 7-way were zip tied together, which seems like a good idea initially, but it just makes that cable really heavy, and then they split ways, and then they're tugging at each other. So I think individually is the way to go. Ronnie also pulled the 7-way out from underneath the propane tank, because it comes out like this and then it wants to come around, and it's putting a lot of pressure on it. So he just pulled it out of there, went under the tank, and so it's got a much cleaner path. Okay. Trailer tire pressure. right there. Boom. Press OK to set up.
And now you got to go.
How many
tell me.
tires do you have? 4.
And now it's going to
What
want you to.
tire pressure do you want? I'm going to say 60.
And now it's wanting you to do the front tire.
Okay.
So you got to go through the setup to do it now, and it'll be every time you go with the little tool to set it up.
Gotcha.
You're going to get a beep from the horn, and then the last tire, when it's successful, you'll get 2 beeps of the horn, and it's set up.
Oh, baby. Let's zoom in on that. Look at that. That is fantastic. So we got our regular camera, which I can zoom in on. We got our 360 camera for parking. That's automatic. We got this camera, which I don't use very often. I got the 5th wheel camera, which we have a truck cap. Auxiliary, which is now behind the Airstream. And then this for left and right. That is so cool. Trish,
Mark,
are you ready?
I am.
Can you
Is there
go-
a drum roll? You have like a drum roll?
In a way, yeah.
Oh, it is like a drum roll.
It is. There we go. 1207. 1207. That's our winning number.
Last week, you had the opportunity to win 2 Battleborn batteries by guessing the tongue weight after everything had been installed. Since then, Part 1 has had 110,000 views, and there were only 2,300 guesses. So many guesses were so close, but just one was on the money. Congratulations to Daniel Bowen.
We're going to be roughly 24 to the top of the belt line there.
Yeah, to the little indent.
Oh, look at that though.
So we can come up.
About an inch. An inch and a quarter.
Yeah.
And that's what we needed because we were 25 and a quarter.
I'd rather go up on the hitch because I already got 30 pounds of air and I don't really want to ride with 40 pounds of air.
Yeah, no, so let's go up one hole and that'll fix it. Ready?
No, keep going. Wait, one more. There you go.
At the seam.
25.
25.
25. On the money.
And we hadn't lost any air or anything, have we? We're good?
No, we're still at 30 pounds.
There we go.
All right, well, we're camping on the side of the building tonight, and it's a little warm. 94 degrees outside temperature, 94 inside, it's 86 outside. So we're gonna run the generator for the first time, kick on the AC, cool it down. So it's exactly why we got it. So let's give it a shot. The thing I should do is just turn the inverter on, that was off. So we're inverting at 50 amp. That's the propane. Start, accept. I think Ronnie said something like 10 to 12 seconds. I think he said 10 seconds for the relay to come in here and then like 3 seconds for it to start.
It's not even that loud.
Well, there's no load yet. It'll get a little louder when I turn the air conditioning on,
Okay.
but it's super quiet.
It is.
You wanna shut the door?
Well, let me bring Charlie in. We're mid-move here.
For more information about this off-grid build and links to products installed, visit keepyourdaydream.com/lithium.
right now. The air conditioning's on. I did not hear the generator take any additional load. Can you hear the generator at all over the air conditioning?
Not over the air conditioning, no.
I mean, we know it's running.
Yes.
There's a minimal vibration in the floor. I would imagine in our bed, we won't feel it at all.
Next week, we're going to hook up and hit the road and start putting everything to the
I
test.
think that it tows fabulous.
Oh.
Oh, now you
Wow.
get to see.
You see that?
Whoa.
Just go slow. Just go slow.
Oh, no scraping.
Wow, that was quite a curve.
That was.
That was quite a curve.
Despite the heat, we headed straight to Cracker Barrel to dry camp for the night, and everyone was pretty comfortable. Meanwhile, back at Airstream Nuts and Bolts, Ronnie is dealing with an infestation of sorts.
We only planted 2. They are reproducing. Love is in the air. And they're showing up in tools that I didn't even know Ronnie would get to for 6 months.
I know. He really does use his shop.
Small flamingo army. I happened to see the bag of said flamingos before they were released into the wild. And
Well, there's only
it's like,
2.
oh, these are neat. They flamingo people along the way. And little did I know.
There are some mods we completed, like Mark's Low Pro Dumper 320.
So how low is it is the question.
Oh yeah, we're 14 inches.
Oh, so what's a regular one? I guess we'll measure when we get back to your house.
And the 12-volt power for the Levelmate Pro that we'll cover in future episodes. And if you own an Airstream and are looking for these kinds of mods, you can visit airstreamnutsandbolts.com. Can't wait to see you next Sunday. Bye for now.